I'm wondering how quickly I can tell you the story of two different guys, and one that is certainly destined for success, and another one who may get there eventually. The first guy, I'm just gonna give him the name Joe. It's not his real name, but Joe works at Chick-fil-A. After going to the gym many times in the morning, I might stop by the drive-thru of Chick-fil-A in my 1974 Volkswagen Beetle named Abigail, my dream car. And as I was driving through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru each morning, Joe, who stands in line and takes your order there, says, "Hey, dude, I see you every day. Where did you get such a cool car?" And I told him the story of it and stuff like that. He says, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I help people build responsible and profitable online businesses so that they can leave their unfulfilling day job." And you should have seen the look in his eyes. He's like, "Really?" He goes, "I have been trying to create my own online business." And I said, "Really? Tell me more." He says, "Well, I'm trying to help people set up websites and stuff like that." I said, "Do you have a business card? Do you have a website I can go to?" "No, I haven't got quite to that point of it yet." I said, "Well, what point have you gotten to?" He says, "Well, I'm just kind of working on things. It's down the road. It's something that is a dream of mine." I said, "Huh, very cool. Well, I wish you great success with that." Fast forward to about 2 or 3 days later, I go through the drive-thru again, and there's Joe. And I said, "Hey Joe, have you taken any new steps towards building your own online website creation business?" "No, I've been really busy and I've got all this other stuff going on and I just haven't had time." I said, "Well, you're not gonna actually have time unless you make it. So have you thought about doing this, this, and this?" And I just gave him a few just first steps, like really easy things he could do. And he says, "Cool, I'll consider that." Fast forward another day or two, I go through the line. Joe's like, "Hey, Cliff, how's it going?" I said, "It's going awesome. Never been better. Gets better every single day." I said, "How are things going with those steps that I gave you the other day? Did you take any of those?" "Well, I was going to, but I had some other things come up and well, it hasn't happened yet." I said, "Let me tell you something. I have a step-by-step framework that I give to people to teach them how to build a business. Well, like all the way from square one to having nothing to having your own profitable online business. Would you be interested in that?" He goes, "Sure, yeah." I said, "What's your cell phone number?" And he gave me a cell phone number and I texted him a link to a piece of content I believe that would radically, profoundly change his life. Content, quite frankly, that people have paid me thousands of dollars to share with them. And I followed up with him over and over again, day after day, week after week, and still nothing. And he finally tells me about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he says, "Hey, I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm definitely gonna be listening to that content that you shared with me." That was a couple weeks ago. And it's been a couple weeks since I've been to Chick-fil-A, and this morning, Stephanie and I rolled through the drive-thru after a great workout. And I said, "Hey, Joe, did you have a chance to go through that content on your vacation? And by the way, how was your vacation?" And I gotta tell you, this is the first time Joe actually held me up, like in line. And he went on for, and I'm not exaggerating, it probably felt like 40 minutes, but it was probably about 3 to 4 minutes that he held me there, right there. And all he did was tell me about how many things are going wrong in his life. And I feel for the guy. But the thing is that ever since I've known Joe, all he's talked about is the fact that he would love to do something one day, but just nothing seems to go right for him. Now, I want to give you a story of another guy. His name is James, and James is his name. He works at Planet Fitness, one of the most coolest guys I've ran into at Planet Fitness. For those of you who have been watching my Instagram story, I gave him the supervillain name Jetvac. And it's a whole inside story for people who watch my Instagram story because he has this turbo vacuum cleaner that goes on the back of his thing. Maybe I'll throw some editing in and give you guys a little peek of who Jetvac is. And yeah, for those of you who watch every day, yes, that sound in the background, it's the supervillain, Jetvac. So guys, I just want you to know, me and Jetvac, we're really not arch nemesis. And I just told him that he has his own hashtag Jetvac. He's really a cool guy.
Yeah, hey.
But anyway, his name is James. And we met each other, and I gotta tell you, I'm super impressed with this guy. So I introduced myself to him, asked what his dreams are. And so it turns out that this is his summer job, working at Planet Fitness. And he goes up to another state, I can't remember which state off the top of my head right now, but he goes to another state to go to drama school. He wants to be an actor. And I'm like, oh, very cool. I said, so what kind of acting do you want to do? Are you going to be in television? Are you going to be in movies? What kind, if movies, what kind of movies? Are there going to be action movies, drama movies, horror movies? Tell me, man, like, let me know where are you heading? He goes, well, quite frankly, I just want a job that'll pay the bills. And I said, dude, forget that. I said, here's one thing I've learned in life, James, is this. No matter what you do, as long as your desire is to always make sure that you have enough money to pay the bills, that's gonna be taken care of. It's called what your standard of living is. It's what you must do. It seems to me like you have a standard that says you must pay your bills on time. That money's always gonna be there. You'll find a way, I promise you. My question though is, what do you want from life? What do you want to experience as a career? Do you want to one day stand in front of a television audience of millions of people and receive an Emmy for your television show? Or do you want to stand up on a different awards ceremony and receive an Oscar in front of millions of people for your acting in movies? He goes, definitely an Oscar. And I said, and for what genre? What type of movie? And I told him he should go for the superhero genre, and we could create an entire franchise out of Jetpack. So the interesting thing was that while we had this conversation, James is dreaming of the future. And we've had lots of conversations since that initial conversation. But today, this morning, the same day that I got the follow-up, the 3 to 4 minute, woe is me, everything is falling apart in my life, there's just no way, I never catch a break kind of deal. That was this morning after we left Planet Fitness. But before we left Planet Fitness, before I got to check up with Joe, I actually did get to check in with James and see how he's going. I said, James, you're still here. When do you go back to school? Because I know that he's going to be going. He tells me that it's August 20-something. And I said, awesome. I said, you practicing for that Oscar? Have you written out your accepting speech yet? He goes, dude, I got to tell you something. And I was like, I'm here. Tell me what's going on. He goes, I have never dreamed so much about the future that far in advance. And he goes, it's been on my mind nonstop ever since you brought it up. And I was like, yes. I said, that's exactly why I brought it up. I wanted to plant that seed there for you to start dreaming about what you want out of life. He goes, now I'm not used to dreaming that far into the future. It was pretty cool, but I came up with a new dream. Like, I didn't realize how much I wanted this, but is it okay for me to dream something like a year or 2 years down the road? I'm like, do you really have to ask me, James? Do you believe you have to ask me if it's okay for you to dream? He goes, I guess not. He goes, well, let me tell you what my dream is. And I'm like, tell me your dream, James. I gotta know. And so James proceeds to tell me, he goes, I want to actually get into Juilliard for drama. I want to go to New York City and study drama at Juilliard. And I'm like, that's incredible. He goes, see, the deal is you're allowed to apply twice to Juilliard. And I've already applied once and I didn't get in. However, when you apply, you go through and you audition, and then you have like a second audition, and then you have a third audition. And if you make it through the third audition, then you get accepted if you get in. He goes, I went as high as you could possibly go. I made it all the way to the third audition, but I didn't make it in. He goes, but I had kind of given up on it, but now I know, because I'm thinking, it's like, what is the most likely way I'm going to get to my Oscar? I'm gonna go to Juilliard. I think I'll have a better opportunity with that training and those connections and that proximity to certain people. Just like you talked about, I want to go to Juilliard. And I'm like, awesome. I have a question for you. What's one thing that you can do within the next 7 days to get into Juilliard? To get you, to make sure that you make it into Juilliard? And instantly, he had never thought to ask that question. He goes, oh, well, I guess one thing I could do within the next 7 days is I could actually start researching which monologues I'm going to use to audition. I'm like, awesome. What else can you do in the next 7 days? He goes, Well, maybe I need to reach out to my drama teacher from high school and see if I can get some help with writing my essays. Or maybe when I'm getting ready to go back to school, maybe I can go ahead and contact my teachers there and ask if they would be willing to help me get my essays all put together. I'm like, awesome. What's one other thing you can do in the next 7 days? Let's try 3 different actions within the next 7 days to get you closer to getting into Juilliard. And he was starting to struggle a little bit. I said, hey, do you happen to know anybody that goes to Juilliard or has been? He goes, yeah, I have 2 people that are in my contacts on my phone. I actually was applying at the same time they were. They're my friends. They're in Juilliard now. And I'm like, awesome. Do you think you could actually reach out to those 2 individuals and separately set up a 1-hour call where you could interview them? And the idea is for you to share with them your experience of how far you made it into the process and that you didn't get it, but your ultimate goal, that there is no other option, you are going to make it in the Juilliard, and here is what you are currently doing. You're working on these monologues, you're working with these people on this essays, and this is what your plan is. And then you ask them this question. Based upon your experience and the fact that you got in, what am I missing? Is this a good plan? Is there something else I need to, are there other actions you can tell me? Is there anything that you can give me, any kind of insights that you know from your own experience of what got you in when you know that other people had not got in? Have you guys thought about why you and not others? And maybe you could reach out to some of your other peers there at Juilliard and ask them if they have any insights as to why them and not the other people that were applying at the same time. Is there any way that you could reach out to those 2 individuals, ask them those questions, and see if you can't continue on an ongoing relationship with people who are already experiencing what it is that you want to experience? James lit up with possibilities. He is dreaming big dreams. And James has already promised me that at one point down the road in the future, James said that when he is on the awards show for the Oscars and he accepts his Oscar, he said absolutely with beyond a shadow of a doubt, he will definitely thank Cliff Ravenscraft for allowing him to start dreaming big dreams. Beyond getting paid, he knew that it's because he started dreaming of that Oscar that made it a reality. And he's certain that he's going to do it. And I'm certain that James is going to do it. So this is a story that I'm sharing with you. A tale between 2 guys. 2 guys who pretty much have the same opportunity. You see, I have the privilege and the honor of having financial margin in my life. I get paid extremely well for the mentoring and the coaching that I do. And as a result of that, whenever God lays somebody on my heart, I have the opportunity to just pour myself into them. And I've decided I'd make myself available to both of these guys. The James at Planet Fitness and this guy at Chick-fil-A. I would devote hours of my life every month to both of these guys if they would just reach out and say, hey, Cliff, I got some more questions. Can you jump on a call with me? Or, hey, would you meet me for lunch? Or can I buy you dinner? I would go in a heartbeat and I wouldn't charge them a penny. Now, the thing is people would normally pay me $3,500 for my mentoring package. People routinely pay me $1,500 for a 1-hour mentoring session. People have paid me $7,500 for a 1-day mentoring session with me here in my studio. And I'm offering that for free to these individuals. One person dares to dream and sees what is possible. The other one is like, I ain't got time for this, man. There's just not a moment in my day that I could even possibly consume that piece of valuable content that you shared with me. I'm just drowning, dude. I gotta tell you guys, your attitude and what you believe is possible, it's everything in life. And my heart, my passion is to help set everyone's dream free, to help you dream big dreams. And the reality is no matter where you are in life, I don't care if you are just working the most menial job, doing dishes in the back of a restaurant, taking people's orders at Chick-fil-A, if you're vacuuming and mopping the floors at Planet Fitness, or if you already own and operate your own business and you're making 40, 50, 60 grand a month in your business, but you still feel like there's something more for you in life. You know what to do. Sometimes you don't think you know what to do, but you know some steps. If somebody was to allow you to get you start dreaming and they said, hey, what's one thing you could do right now? You would have an answer. But the question is what's keeping you from dreaming bigger dreams? What's keeping you from taking those first steps like James did at Planet Fitness? James is taking steps. Within the next 7 days, I promise you, he will have at least 3 to 5 monologues picked out. I know within the next 7 days, James is going to reach out to his high school teacher. He's going to reach out to the teachers that he's got at this drama school that he's currently attending. And I know within the next 7 days, he will have calls scheduled with 2 friends that are currently attending Juilliard. That's the kind of person who's going to succeed in life. My question is, are you the type of person who is ready for success in life? Are you the type of person who's ready to go after your dream? I gotta tell you, if you are, I encourage you to come to the Free the Dream Conference. This event will help you understand what it is that's kept you back from actually dreaming bigger. And for some of you who actually have the big dreams, it's going to help you understand why you have not yet taken massive action toward the realization of your dreams. Don't delay. Reserve your seat today at freethedream.live. That's freethedream.live. I look forward to seeing you in Franklin, Tennessee.